What is going on, guys? DBG here. Today we're going to be reacting to Tide ranking the best players in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. Before we get on to it, obviously go sub to Ty, the current 250k champ, and well, in terms of form wise, he's on the best form at the minute. Honestly, the guy is still one of the favorites to win 250k, especially on current gen again this year. Maybe not so much on next, but I mean, he's still a freaking demon on next. He's still a shot. Like, you can never count out Ty. But yeah, so as I always say with a video like this, get the popcorn out. Unfortunately, I don't have any popcorn in my house right now. So the closest thing I'm like, okay, what else do people sometimes have when they're watching movies and they're watching TV? I got like a pint of 300 calorie a tub, little low fat ice cream. So, or low calorie ice cream. So, yes, that's what we're eating. I guess that is what we are eating. We are full on. We are gone full on Twitch streamer mode on this. We are literally reacting to a video while eating. We're not even on Twitch and we've gone full on Twitch streamer mode, lads. So, anyway, now let's get on to it. Obviously, I'm putting this on 1.5 times speed because I don't want this video. Again, I will be pausing an awful lot in this video, and I don't want this video to be like an hour and 20 minutes. So let's go.
290,000 subscribers. And let's hop into our first guy here, Allen Iverson. And look, man, when looking at the people on this list, he's not the worst, but I'm going to go D tier for now for Allen Iverson.
I need to see what other cards. I need to see the other cards.
Got him. You know, offensively, he can be solid, but again, 6 feet tall, not going to compete on the defensive end of the court. I'm going to go D tier with Allen Iverson. Andre Iguodala, a card everybody hyped up when he first came out, but I mean, first of all, how many people are really going to get Andre Iguodala?
If Iverson's D, I'll agree. Iguodala B. B's probably right for Iggy.
Is he even worth getting? And I don't think either of those things, I mean, are come true. I mean, I don't think he's worth getting. I don't think a lot of...
Heads up. This list does not include any of the cards that came out last Friday or this Tuesday, but other than Houston, who's going in from this Tuesday, and Hero, actually. Hero's probably like high C, low B.
People have him. Is he going to be able to defend at one of the highest levels in the game? Absolutely.
He's like a worse Grant Hill.
But to go along with that is, he's not that next level good on offense. I think he's a pure lock. He can be just fine, but at 6'6", there are better cards in the game.
Where's Grant Hill?
Such as Andre Kirilenko. Now, is he S tier?
Hey.
We'll debate that at the end of this video. I'm going to throw him into S tier right now. Just
because
I think
I agree.
Am I the biggest fan of his release? I don't know, biggest fan. I don't know if I'd say that, but I do like his release. It is super easy to time. Maybe not the quickest, but it is easy to time. Easy to green. I think, I mean, come, next month, he won't necessarily be that top player anymore. But right now, as far as pure locks in the game,
AK's elite. AK's elite, lots.
Anton Jameson, a very solid card in my team. That's all there is to say. So is Andre Iguodala, though. I mean, I don't think Anton is that next level good. He is really solid. But there are cards in the game that right now I prefer to him. We might have to do some shifting as we go through this list today. Obviously, we might move Anton.
I agree about them the same tier. I don't disagree with anything so far.
I do think Anton Jameson does deserve that A tier. Anthony Davis. I think
no.
Now, this is coming from a guy who has used Anthony Davis maybe 1 or 2 times. I think he is that next level good. His ability to defend on the interior makes him...
Get him to A. Get him down.
A lot of people are going to hype up the Yalen card. I think AD has upper hand on him, which you guys will see later on in this video.
Oh, he's way better than AD.
Small ball center. He's probably the man with the plan right now.
No, he's way better.
Maybe, but
he's way better.
He is absolutely elite right now in my team. Antonio McDyess, this is our first card we're going to go
over
2K Database to talk about. Now, the reason I'm going to go over to 2K Database to talk about him is because I don't know much about him.
He plays way better than stats suggest. He's C.
Super smooth release.
Maybe D. Honestly, maybe D.
73 ball. Not great shooting.
One or the other.
Can't really handle the ball that well defensively. Not great. I do think because of his release, he can hold it down. Gonna go C tier for Antonio McDyess. If you did get him, all I can really say is I'm sorry. I do not think...
What do you mean I'm sorry? He costs like 4K MT.
So good. And I think he's similar to the level of a Bailey Howell type card. Bailey Howell,
I agree.
Defensive end of the court, and honestly, rebounding wise, is really solid. The problem with Bailey Howell is he
I agree.
Do over the top stuff. Like if you're asking 90% of the community who they're taking Anton Jameson or Bailey Howell, people are going to take Anton Jameson. Now, is that to say Bailey Howell can't compete?
Yeah, but he's not that much worse. I agree. C tier. That's perfect. You're in the perfect tier type.
Or power forward position to compete. I just have a hard time.
This is near perfect so far.
Against the the likes of an Andre Kirilenko, for example. Baron Davis, a card I was initially maybe too low on. I still don't love the card.
See, I agree.
I don't think
I actually genuinely agree with you.
Good. But I do think because of what he can do on the offense end with the Dame release,
maybe B.
And of his ability to
bro, I'm not gonna argue.
I think if I do put him any lower than C tier, I'm not doing this Baron Davis card justice because there are
look, I see the next card that's obviously my face covered is Ben Gordon, and I think Ben Gordon's better than Baron Davis. But they probably should both be in the same tier. Look, if you want to argue Baron Davis and B tier, that's fine, but not one player here is more than 1 tier away from where I put them.
A ton of things that he does really well in the court. Just his interior defense, his movement is not the best. Ben Gordon up next.
I agree.
In my own mind, if you got Ben Gordon, you got an extremely solid point guard for free. That's what I would say. You got an extremely solid point guard.
I agree.
Has jump shot 22 on quick, which is a super smooth, super easy to time, easy to get released. Movement really solid. It's really just going to come back down to that defensive end of the court where Ben Gordon is not that next level good. Billy Cunningham here. He's good. Here's the deal, guys. He's solid enough in my team. I mean, he is. We're not ranking.
I mean, I know pickpocket isn't as important as it used to be at the start of the year, but I mean, Ben Gordon still has an unbelievably high steal with half pickpocket, so it's not like he's bad.
In pink diamond cards, though, ranking those cards in my team.
I agree with Billy.
To Bailey Howell. They're cards you can play at either the small forward or power forward position.
Maybe they might end up in D looking at the rest of this list.
I'm not sitting here and saying like Bailey Howell is not a top player. If you want to say he's a top 5 or 6 small forward in the game, you can say that. I mean, there's nothing on the court that he's going to do bad. I just have a hard time putting him even above an Anton Jameson. I think Anton gives you that little bit more. Maybe a surprise on the list, Bob Sura. I mean, if you watch my No Money Spent Squad,
I agree.
You know I like Bob Sura. I wish his jump.
I replaced Baron Davis with Bob Sura, so I agree.
Really solid interior.
Baron Davis is better than all of them on clutch time, though.
Look, he's not the best point guard in the game. I would never say that and never will say that. But what I will say is, if you do badge Bob Sura up, make him that little bit better on the offense.
You don't even need the badge, but he's still really good non-badged.
Point guards are concerned. Now, if it's him or Ben Gordon, I have a choice. I don't know right now who I would take between those two cards.
I think
Brook Lopez,
Sura, maybe?
He's just slow, man. He's just slow. Gonna have trouble if you do like switching screens. Brook Lopez.
Maybe I'll put him D, to be honest.
Defense, part of guys that can guard Yao Ming. Brook Lopez is gonna compete. I feel like he's underrated in my team. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily talk that much about Brook, but he is a
like Brook, though.
solid guy at that center.
He's C or D.
That I think can compete at a decent enough level. Is he next level good? No, because
maybe D. Though I'd be leaning D.
Decently. Carmelo Anthony.
I put Melo right now. I put Melo in D.
C tier or is he B tier? I'm going C tier for Carmelo Anthony.
Really?
Wondering why? Never mind. I gotta go B tier. I don't even love
what?
Melo, but he has a ton of total badges. And if you do get
No. He's like 7 hops. But like no defensive badges. He's not like, okay, C. Maybe I was like underrating to put him in D, but man, I have a diamond contract in the guy. I've used the guy more than anyone else. The guy at this stage in the game is not comparable to Jameson or Iguodala. Come on now, Ty.
Give him a defensive shoe. You can still use him to this day. He has that normal leaner, which is just so incredibly tough to defend against. I do not use Melo. I've had him out of my
you can use him, but he's not going to be good.
We get a Galaxy Opal Melo. It's just a little bit better on the defensive end of the court. People are going to run him at that small forward position. And I might be one of them. Kazi up next. Look, guys. I will sit up here in front of you guys and say, you know what? I was a little bit wrong about Kazi. And when I say a little bit, I mean it like in this way. Kazi can cook on offense, man. And I've been cooked by Kazi.
He's also a really good defender.
Now, will I ever run Kazi wrestle even if I had him? No. I wouldn't. He doesn't fit my playstyle. He doesn't fit what I like to do offensively, heck, even or defensively. But
I'm cool with that.
If I come up against Kazi wrestle, I'm worried. And because of that, I think he does, at minimum, belong in A tier. If you want to put him in S tier, be my guest.
Yeah, he's one of those two. All right, especially prior to last week, he's one of those two.
Kind of guy to put at the B tier. So if we go by positions at B tier, I think here's what you're really looking at. Obviously, Ben Gordon, then you got Iggy, Melo.
Melo does not belong.
Chris Bosh of the world are a little bit better than Brook Lopez. You want to go to A tier with Bosh if you like him that much and are good with his release?
No, Bosh is definitely B. Bosh is definitely B.
I just don't. I haven't had as much success, or I haven't gotten cooked by Chris Bosh really either yet in my team. Chris Paul is an interesting card. Now, I'm going to go to 2K Database to tell you guys and explain why I like Chris Paul so much more than Allen Iverson. Okay?
He's better. I agree. I'm not going to argue that.
Height-wise, basically the same. Height-wise, wingspan, basically the same. Chris Paul is a little wider, which does matter. Here's the big deal. Plus 31 interior.
I know, but he's 6'1", so it doesn't matter.
That's the big difference between the two cards. Other than that, I mean, they're basically identical, right? They're going to both be good. Chris Paul is that little bit better on the defense end of the court. I love Chris Paul 2 tiers above Allen Iverson. Not 1 tier.
No, that's stupid.
I think Chris Paul...
That's honestly stupid. Like, whatever, 80 interior defense, it doesn't matter. Like, literally, anyone 6'3" or above, it doesn't matter if you have 80 interior. You're going to get matched. The whole thing is that CP3 is a high steal and half ball stripper, but so does Allen Iverson. That is the most dumb thing. Is CP3 better than Iverson? Probably. Probably he's better. But like to say they're 2 tiers better when they're pretty much the same card. Except the difference is Allen Iverson is better on offense. Iverson can get brick wall. Like, come on, the only way either of them are getting a paint stop. Interior doesn't matter on CP3. The only way either of them are getting a paint stop is if you spam square. You just hate Iverson, Ty. You literally just disrespect Iverson just because his name is Allen Iverson. He's not bad. If anything, move Iverson up a tier and move freaking Billy Cunningham down a tier, if anything.
Paul is more on the level of Bob Sura, Ben Gordon than the likes of Baron Davis. You guys disagree? That is okay. I'm okay if you guys do want to disagree with that.
That's ridiculous. 2 tiers above Iverson. They're basically the same card.
You give him brick wall, you give him post lockdown, the dude's going to be able to compete on the defense.
Same thing, same with Iverson.
Cliff Robinson up next. I was really high on Cliff Robinson for his specific time. That time's not now.
You are freaking... You put Cliff Robinson behind Carmelo Anthony. Or what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing here? You put Cliff Robinson, half interceptor, like 90 in every defensive stat, can hit the 3 ball when he's wide open, is fast, can dunk, can handle the ball a little bit. You put him below Carmelo Anthony.
If you like set shot 3, be my guest. I cannot shoot with this card. I mean, defensively, he's obviously really good. I can't put him above 6. I just can't. For his time, I loved him. I just don't anymore. The set shot 3 gets to me. It gets to my head. He's living in my head rent free for that. But at C tier, you guys might hate it. You guys might want him in B tier, and that's okay. If you want to argue Cliff Robinson A tier or higher, you better be good with set shot 3. The reason I'm putting Cliff Robinson in C tier is because I want to put Dan Issel.
Put Dan Issel in A.
Here's the deal, guys. Dan Issel is better than Cliff Robinson.
I'm not going to argue that because it's preference.
Let's compare the cards. Dan Issel is quite a bit better, especially match-wise. I'm not in love with Dan Issel. And maybe that's one thing that maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe Dan Issel is
fundamental. Dan Issel's good. Dan Issel.
The more he might belong in A tier because the card.
Dan Issel's better than Jameson.
I'm moving him into A tier though. I do think at the power forward position.
I'm fine with that.
Better guys. I'd rather have a power forward. And even if you compare Dan Issel straight up to a guy like Anton Jameson,
Issel's better than Jameson.
But I do think Dan Issel does have a little better defense. And now you know what? I think I had it right. I do think they're both B tier. We'll see. He might get moved up. But right now I'm gonna.
I see Kazi's in A, so yeah, I agree.
I mean, he is the definition.
Dan Marley, get him down. He's so average.
Dan Marley is basically an Andre Iguodala.
No, he's not.
A more all-around better card. But
no, he's not.
Marley does have the fundamental dribble style. I can't separate them. If I have to move Iguodala up, I will because I want Iguodala.
He's not Iguodala. He's not Iguodala. What are you talking about? He's freaking worse. He's Jaylen Brown with a worse release. Get him down. Get him down.
When it comes down to Dan Marley and Andre Iguodala, Danny Granger, a card that is massively slept on in my team.
I'm not gonna argue.
Any lower than A tier, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. Here's the deal. People want
to eye below A
and say that Kevin Durant is, the top card of the game, the best card of the game. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but Danny Granger
doesn't really move. Is Kevin Durant that much better than Danny Granger?
Yes.
My personal opinion is no. I do think KD's a little bit better, but I don't think he's that much better.
I mean, if you look at stats, you're putting Carmelo Anthony in B tier. Like, what are we doing here?
You give this Danny Granger these badges and listen, you give him shit.
The problem is he can't really move.
You give him post lockdown, you give him ball stripper, you give him rim protector, make him that much better on the defensive end of the court.
He's a mediocre defender and he can't move. That's the problem with Danny Granger.
The card I might start using in my squad, Dave Cowens. Look, Dave Cowens is good, but the problem is Dave Cowens...
Who's going worthless? You know what?
Dave Cowens is the level of a guy even like Dan Issel in the answer to
I'm looking at the rest of these guys. You want to move Iverson to worthless, it's fine.
Smooth jump shot, he is still solid. Problem comes with, he can't really handle the ball, so the fundamental dribble style goes out the wayside. Total badges only.
Who the hell's going to worthless?
Definitely hurts the card. David Robinson, easily A tier. I mean, easily that step above a Chris Bosh type of card. A tier is A, guys. I just want to throw that out there. Anybody I put an A tier, I feel like can compete in comp games. B or lower is like, B tier is like, maybe. C tier lower is guys I would not want in comp games. D-Rob still, if you do want to, play him in unlimited in a competitive game, you can have so much success with D-Rob. And some people might argue he's still the best center in today's game.
I mean, if you're comfortable with him, maybe.
Even better than DeAndre Ayton now. I'm kind of glad Dave Robinson came right.
D-Rob's better than Ayton.
So I can do that comparison because DeAndre Ayton, I think, is just that little better on defense. Dave Robinson can have the better release. Two are very comparable when it comes down to it. I think right now I'd take DeAndre Ayton over Dave Robinson. I do
really?
DeAndre
wow.
Just that little bit more, and I think he is absolutely elite in my team. A card who is not elite is DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he is just not elite. If you do use DeMar DeRozan...
I'm not going to argue that, but if you badge him up, he's legit better than... He's so much better than Dan Marley if you badge him up. If you badge him up, he's better than Jameson. The problem is it costs like $80K to badge him up.
I mean, and like the card, that is fine. And I ask you guys this, though. Who is better, DeMar DeRozan or Bailey Howe? Right?
Bailey Howe, but not by much.
Bailey Howe is going to give you that way better interior, which you guys...
Badge DeRozan's better, but Bailey Howe's better offer.
Yes, this does say +4 for DeRozan, and I get it. A lot of that comes with the free throw, mid-range, those types of things. I am taking Bailey Howe over DeMar DeRozan, and that is my opinion.
Of base, I agree.
Because I do believe he does belong at this tier.
Yeah.
Next up, we do see DeMarcus Cousins in... Talk about who I think is one of the most overrated centers in the game. It's DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. At least y'all's favorite center in the game. Hey, I'm not trying to slander him.
He's fine.
I'm sorry. DeMarcus Cousins, he's okay. I just can't go any higher than C tier with him. Dennis Rodman, I think, belongs in B tier. I don't think he is the next level. Good. If you want to use Dennis Rodman,
his release. The problem is his release. Most people won't be good with his release.
I maybe was high on Dennis Rodman when the first card came, or when this card came out, and that's okay. Like, I'm gonna be too high on some people sometimes. It's just the way it is, the way my tier list works. This Dennis Rodman card is pretty solid, especially on the defensive end of the court. Next up, Devin Booker. Now, this is probably one of the tougher guys to rank on the list. Right now,
A or B?
This is tough. I don't know if he's B tier or A tier. I think I'm going to lean A tier, and the main reason I'm leaning A tier is because of how good of his releases. That's really it. Defensively, his interior defense is low enough where I'd never run Devin Booker, and I'm just making that very clear to you guys. I will never run Devin Booker. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I will never run Devin Booker, but for a lot of you guys watching this video, if you do grind for Devin Booker, you have a lot of success with. I'm not going to compare him to Kazi Russell. I think Kazi Russell was the better card, but I do think Devin Booker is really good, and I think he's a step above a guy like Dan Marley. I'd have to move on to
but Dan Marley also... Dan Marley shouldn't be a B tier either.
Look a little bit better.
He's so average.
But guys, point guard position, I'm going to go...
He's way better than CP3.
I don't think he's that much better than Chris Paul.
He's way better than Chris Paul.
A lot better than Chris Paul. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I just don't see it. I think Donovan Mitchell's fine. I think his player model makes him look at least 6'3". I'm just not a big fan of the jump shot 4 on normal timing. Combine that with, I've just never really been good with Donovan Mitchell. Dwayne Wade's a guy that I don't love, but I respect. I'm going to put him in A tier because of how much I respect him.
I'll give you that. I agree.
But the moment we get an open Dwayne Wade, and maybe that is released on quick, that's going to be the best point guard in the game. Just throwing that out there. Here's the deal, guys. The point guard position is going to get a lot stronger within the next month. I expect to see a lot of these point guards get new cards. One of those cards is going to be the day of Dwayne Wade, obviously. Maybe.
You say that. I'd be shocked if tonight we don't see point guard Simmons.
I can't really move that well with Dwayne Wade. I mean, Dark Matter Gary Payton's on this list. Obviously, an easy S tier player. I don't know if he's going to be the best point guard in the game in a month, but right now he is. Okay, right now Gary Payton is, I mean, head and whatever. Like he's way above a guy like LaMelo Ball, a guy like that. Or my other top 2 point.
He made his video on Thursday. Gary Payton went from being the best point guard. He was like, I don't know if he'll be the best in a month. He wasn't even the best the next day after he made this video.
I don't know. Like if you look at the content drops that we've gotten lately, you're looking for point guards. Well, we didn't really get one yesterday. That's last Friday. I mean, we really got Chris Paul, Jeremy Lin. None of those are too good. Friday before, that's when we got Ja Morant with LaMelo Ball. We'll see. I mean, eventually we're gonna get better cards than Gary Payton.
The next day we got 3 better.
Pink Diamond Giannis, I have a hard time not putting an S tier.
We have 4 better next day.
A lot of people have been slandering Pink Diamond Giannis like he might not, like a really
He's fine.
Might not be better than Opal Giannis. I'm still taking Opal Giannis when it comes down to it.
Pink Diamond Giannis is
Just
fine.
know that the Pink Diamond Giannis is hidden in my team. And you do want a budget or Giannis, then just get the Pink Diamond Giannis. Basically, you're getting the Opal Giannis. And you're gonna put the Opal Giannis in S tier because he is that next big good, right? He is that next level good. And again, he is such a versatile defender. Do not be surprised if that Giannis right there is my small forward come 250K.
He won't be.
I'm not going to say he's going to be, but don't be surprised if he is. Okay?
He won't be. Like 250K, he releases video on the 3rd of February. 250K is the 5th and 6th of March. 0% chance.
Because he really might be when the 250K.
No, we have Dark Matters.
Gus Williams, our first F tier player. I didn't think it would be possible to get a worse Galaxy Opal than Allen Iverson. I was wrong. Gus the bus is off.
Zion Williamson exists. Let's not forget that Zion exists. Tony Parker exists.
In my team. Hakeem Olajuwon, is he A tier? I think so. I really do like Hakeem Olajuwon. Him, D-Rob, DeAndre, and
yep, they're basically the same
things, but they're all that same level of good. They're not necessarily that next tier of good, but they all do belong in that A tier. I think pretty easily. Now we might have to start shifting this tier list down because when I'm looking at here, I don't see that many bad players. So we're gonna shift it down. So shift people down just a little bit. Allen Iverson dropped it.
I'm not gonna argue. You got me CP3 down now.
Let's also drop. Does Brook Lopez deserve to go down? I'm gonna drop in.
Yes, Brook Lopez deserves to go down.
Able to use the card. We'll just leave it at that for now.
How is
really solid?
Wait, let's just get 2K. Let's get the database up right here. So hopefully you guys can see everything here. So we got Chris Paul. We got Allen Iverson. Okay. So let's compare. Same player build. Stats wise, CP3 165 better, but almost all of those are in like interior, which again kind of matters for because he's 6 foot. If these cards are about 6'4", you could, and one had interior of 49, the other interior of 80, I'd be like, okay, yeah, massive difference. These guys are 6 foot, they're both gonna get mashed. And the rest of it's in posters, which doesn't matter. Badges wise, they've got the literal exact same shooting badges, except Chris Paul gets half limitless spot up, whereas Iverson gets gold. This year, half of his gold limitless does not make that much of a difference. You get half interceptor in CP3. Whereas you get half handles for days and half downhill for Iverson. Half quick for 7 both. You get half ankle breaker. You get some of the passing badges on Iverson. So they're so similar. They are so similar. I've never seen 2 more similar cards. There are 3 tiers between CP3 and Iverson. 3! Like, it was bad enough when there were 2. There are 3 tiers between CP3 and Iverson.
And is he solid enough to be A tier?
No. Yeah, he was. Sorry. Before the new point guards we got last week, he was. Yeah.
I do like Ja Morant because he does everything at an extremely high level. And the one thing I do not like is the Paul George base on point guard. It just feels weird to me. Am I gassing how bad it probably is? I mean, probably, but it just feels weird on the card. I'm probably overselling it, but I do not like Paul George base. Still, though, Ja Morant, in my opinion, belongs at A tier. James Worthy up next. Gonna go C tier. Look, if Billy Cunningham's at C tier, Bailey Howell's at C tier, James Worthy's.
Worthy's way better. Worthy's close to Worthy's as good as Rodman.
Right now, we don't have any point guards at C tier. But look, man, I do not hate James Worthy at all. C tier is pretty elite. I just think that's very.
Nah.
Jaren Jackson.
I mean, if Cliff Robinson's C, fair enough. A.
Current gen, the release feels a little bit better. With all that being said,
A. He has to be A.
I do think he's A tier. I don't think it's hard to argue he's not A tier. But just know if you are on next gen, that release is really slow. Gonna be an incredible defender still.
It's not that bad. It's slow, but it's not that bad.
I just don't know if he is that next level good, and I do think it's the release that does hold him back a little bit. Jaylen Brown. I love Jaylen Brown with all my heart. I'm going to throw him into B tier because of that.
He's better than Marley.
I think Jaylen Brown is extremely good for our game today, but he's a card with a good release, going to be able to defend at our.
He's down Marley, but doesn't have a bum release.
And he's free, so I'm going to throw him right into that B tier and give Iggy the slight edge over a guy like Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum is on the verge of being S tier. I'm sorry, this card is one of the most slept on cards. Okay?
I love
I'm just
Tatum.
gonna talk
I love
about
Tatum.
a little
He's
bit
one of my favorite guys in the game.
understand it a little bit. Okay, Hall of Fame ball stripper, big badge, claims, interceptor, menace, big pocket. Defensively, incredible. Interior being an 87, incredible. 94 3 ball, with arguably the best release in my team. Not probably the best.
No, he doesn't have the best. It's not even top 10, but it's okay. It's good.
3, Jason Tatum's S tier. I don't even have Jason Tatum yet. He's S tier.
Wait, when you reacted to my list, when you reacted to my small forward tier list and I put Jason Tatum as one of my top 5 small forwards, you complained. Okay.
I don't want to hear anybody even slander my name on Jason Tatum. He is that good in my team on both jets. We might move him down. We'll see what we got going on, but he is literally elite. Jeremy Lin, another A tier point.
Yeah, he's as good as almost good as Ja. When you give him range, he's good as Ja.
At least a B tier down. Yes, if I have to move anybody down a B tier, I'm gonna.
CP3.
I got to just because he's a little bit small.
If you want to move Gordon down, it's fine.
Sir has got to be moved down too. I love those cards. They just simply.
Please move down Marley down. Please move Melo. Wait. Sorry, I'm so worked up on Dan Marley that I forgot that Carmelo Anthony is still in B tier. When you have James Worthy, Opal DeMar DeRozan, Bailey Howell, Cliff Robinson all below Carmelo Anthony, and you've got Baron Davis in freaking D tier.
For where we're at in my team right now. Yalen up next. Look, I do think he is really solid. I just think he's that little bit worse.
Jianlian. As far as I'm aware. It's definitely not Yalen.
At my team right now. Yalen up next.
It's definitely E, not Yi. First name is E. And then I'm pretty sure it's Jianlian.
Look, I do think he is really solid. I just think he's that little bit worse than a guy like Anthony Davis. If he is,
I think he's better than AD.
In your squad, I get it. He could be an absolute.
I think he's way better than AD.
Center position. I look with normal release timing. Unless you shoot a lot of drifters on next gen, I have a hard time seeing him be that next level good.
Yeah, so AD is normal release time.
Solid. Jimmy buckets for today's game is C tier. Look, I know a lot of people want to compare.
Better than Dan Marley.
A guy like Michael Jordan. That comparison is invalid.
Better than Dan Marley.
That does that. Jay Butler's very good in my team. Just a little bit outdated, I think, is the right term to say. Joe Johnson, a guy I'm gonna put in B tier. His stamina.
Again, if he didn't smoke 5 packs a day, he'd be great.
Affects him in a big way. If Joe Johnson had mid-90s stamina, he would be immaculate.
Yeah, he'd be S tier probably.
It hurts him really badly. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. It is. Trust me when I say that. Still, you like Joe Johnson. I get why. Joel, trust the process.
S.
Right now is going to be an S tier. We might move some things around.
Doesn't matter. He's S.
What Joel Embiid gives me right now at this current moment is an S tier center. Now, I'm just going to go over some things that worried me a little bit with Joel Embiid, with Monty Williams. Okay? Things that worry me a little bit with the card is I do not green as consistently with Joel as I should. But defensively, I mean, he's immaculate.
He's Joel Embiid.
Defensive big in the game. I love Joel Embiid. Right now,
he's still probably the best center in the game.
I mean, we're getting down there, guys. We've covered most of the list so far. We do have a ways to go. John Wall, B tier. Okay, I initially.
Okay. Just let me just put this in perspective. Why is John Wall 2 tiers better than Baron Davis? Better player build. It's the literally only thing John Wall has better than Baron Davis is a player build. Baron Davis is better stats wise. Baron Davis has got half interceptor. Obviously, you're going to have to give Baron Davis range, but he's got a better release. They both come with base dribble style. Like, the only reason you don't like him is because he has base dribble style. I like John Wall. Trust me, I really like John Wall, but Baron Davis is better. Or at least equal. Not 2 tiers different. Not 2. Like, Baron Davis and John Wall should be in the same tier. It's a preference question. The exact same as with Iverson and CP3. You put 2 tiers between both of those combos. And they're essentially two of the most similar comparisons in the game. You put 2 tiers between both of them. 2!
No, you know what I'm going to do? Dwayne Wade right with John Wall at B tier. You guys can think both these points
are
the best in the game, and that's fine.
Wade and Lynn's
preference.
preference.
Jeremy Lin and John Morant over them. I think Jeremy Lin and John Morant give you way more offense.
Yeah, but what's Baron Davis doing in D?
Wade and John Wall might be better on defense, and if that's the case, that's fine. But for the majority of you guys watching this list, I do think this is where people belong. I know a lot of you guys love that Dwayne Wade card, and that's fine. I'm just not the biggest fan. Josh Smith, does he belong at A tier or B tier? That's the question. I like Josh Smith, but is he better than Anton Jameson, Dennis Rodman, Dennis? So I don't think so.
Yes.
B tier is where he belongs.
Yes, he is.
Elite. B tier is just a little bit worse for forwards. I mean, the guards at A tier and B tier are pretty good, especially at B tier, on the weaker side.
I'm not going to argue. He probably is B tier, but he's way better than those 2 guys.
Can compete at that top level.
ARS.
Kawhi Leonard, it's tough for me to do this. For today's day and age, I'm taking Jason Tatum over Kawhi Leonard. It's the big change I made.
I'm cool. I'm the opposite. I'm taking Kawhi over Tatum.
Tatum over Kawhi Leonard. I don't even have Jason Tatum yet on my account.
I have Tatum. I'm taking Kawhi over Jason.
Kawhi Leonard is a great defender. The problem is, I mean, he came out basically a month and a half ago.
Doesn't matter. He's still God.
Obviously, he's going to reclaim that top spot at that small forward shooting guard position. Right now, though, I mean, I'm just a little bit higher on Jason Tatum as an all-around small forward game. K Disney, obviously, S tier. I'm not going to sit here and argue you guys. You guys all love
He's
KD.
the best small forward in the game.
Use KD enough.
Maybe best player in the
I
game.
do think he's S tier, though. Interior, great. Perimeter, great. Speed, great. Strength might be a little bit low, but he's going to compete on the defensive end of the court. And at the small forward position, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better guy than Kevin Durant. KG for today's game, today's day and age, I think... Really put him in A tier, and I think so. I mean, I don't necessarily love KG for today's game.
Really?
But what I will say is, I loved him for a long time. So if you still love KG and you still use him, I get it.
How is he better than Josh Smith?
Compete on the defensive end. He might be better power forward than center for today's game.
Explain how he's better than Josh Smith.
Chris Chicken Man Middleton. He's a B tier.
How?
I love you, Chris Middleton. You are one of the
I don't even think he's bad, but explain your logic. The guy doesn't even come with interceptor.
Down shooting guards in the game, but you're not not quite as good as Devin Booker, Andre Iguodala. Probably in the Jaylen Brown, Dan Marley, Joe Johnson range.
He's better than Dan Marley though, but Dan Marley should be down though.
B tier. Klay Thompson, this one might come as a shock to you guys. I'm putting it A tier.
I'm not gonna argue.
Who are these S tier shooters?
Reggie Lewis.
Klay's not even S tier.
Reggie Lewis, Terry.
I've not noticed a big difference between Klay Thompson.
On his diamond, I agree.
Between Klay Thompson and diamond. Now maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys have noticed a difference. But
I said the same thing when I was using them. It felt the exact same.
Movement with Klay is not great. Maybe it's something I personally need to work on. If that's the case, let me know.
I'm asked with Klay though. I've unapologetically asked with him.
You guys wanted to know where my S tier shooting guards were.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue.
I'm in love with Kobe Bryant.
He's in Kobe and Terry in, so he's not going to put Reggie in.
That crazy X, that's literally crazy, but you just can't get past. Like, Kobe Bryant, you think, okay, he's eventually going to be outdated, we're eventually going to get another Kobe. And maybe that's the replaceable for Kobe's when we get a new Kobe, right?
Yeah, All-Star Weekend, Kobe's going to be in every 250 squad.
And I might always will be.
Because that's right before last quals.
Now, obviously, we might have to move somebody down here because position-wise, it doesn't look like it's going to fit.
S.
Kristaps Porzingis. I got to throw into S tier. And I mean, I only want 10 players at S tier. And right
the
now,
KP and Kurolenko combo is ridiculous.
He is so elite. Can defend at a high rate of 7-3, can shoot the ball. I really do like Kristaps Porzingis. It's just tough now because we got Embiid, we got AD. Who stays, who goes? Kyrie Irving, I'm going to throw right into that C tier category. Definitely a fun.
You have Kyrie Irving ahead of Baron Davis. What are we doing here? I mean, you know what? I wouldn't even be that hungry about that. But what's Baron Davis doing in D? And why is Kyrie Irving 2 tiers ahead of Allen Iverson?
Point guard to use. That's how I would describe Kyrie Irving. A fun point guard to use.
Why is he 2 tiers ahead of Allen Iverson?
Defense, but I just look. I've had fun using him in clutch time, stuff like that.
He can't dunk.
In a competitive setting, anything like that.
He can't play defense because his player build. Yes, he's 6'3", but he still can't play defense. He doesn't move. He moves a tiny bit better than Iverson. I will admit, he moves a tiny bit better. But Iverson has a way better release and can dunk. How is he? Not only is he probably not better than Iverson, why is he 2 tiers better than Allen Iverson? Like, if you brought CP3 to D tier, Kyrie Irving to D tier with Baron Davis, then you brought John Wall down 1 tier, I'm okay with this list. But like, these guys in F, you're putting, well, Gus Williams belongs there, but Iverson's good, man. B or A for Odom.
Lamar Odom. I might be gassing this card. I think he is an A tier.
I mean, I think he's as good as Danny Granger.
Small forward, power forward in the games you guys.
I honestly think he's as good as Danny Granger when you give him range.
Take a moment to realize how elite A tier is. I mean, people can make the case Klay's the best shooting guard. People can make the case Kawhi's the best small forward. People can make the case Lamar Odom's up there for being the best guy to run a power forward. Same thing with EA. A tier is elite. Lamar Odom belongs in that company.
S.
Ball going all the way up here to
S. Yeah, prior to the other ones, he's the second best point guard in the game.
The slasher, or the dribble side, I think it is slasher, maybe base, does hurt the card a lot. But I still think what LaMelo Ball can give you, especially in the defensive end of the court, just makes him that little bit better than the likes of a guy like Penny Hardaway, who is still on this.
Larry Hughes A.
I think Larry Hughes belongs at B tier. And when I say that, I'm not trying to slander Larry Hughes in any way, because B tier.
Not before the new 4-1 point guards.
Combine them all in one. I mean, it's so tough. The debate between Larry Hughes and Ben Gordon, I think, is a tough one. Heck, people love Larry Hughes. I think he's the best point guard in the game. I'm just really not the biggest fan of Larry Hughes' release. If he had a better release, I probably would be.
I think prior to the 4-point guys last week, he's got to be A.
Here's where when I say interesting.
Like, I think Larry Hughes B tier now is fine because you're gonna have to push like LaMelo and stuff down. But I think at the time Ty made this list, Larry Hughes not in A tier is ridiculous.
Here's where things get interesting. People have started to say that LeBron James is outdated.
He's not. But is he better than AK in my opinion? No. Is he better than Jason Tatum? No. Is he better than Kevin Durant? No. He's not outdated, but he's probably not best to either at small forward or power forward.
What I want to do to those people, oh my gosh, like, are you guys?
He's better than Giannis.
LeBron James is still absolutely elite. I'm just going to compare him to KD. Obviously, they are different players, but badge-wise, basically the same. Stat-wise, here's what you're doing. You're getting a little worse offense, better defense. That's what you're getting with LeBron.
Yeah, but he doesn't move.
Not quite as good player, the
problem is that if you take any dribble move with LeBron James, the guy digs his heels into the ground. He cannot accelerate. Unless you're catching ball on a fast break, the guy literally cannot accelerate. It's a huge issue. It is actually a huge issue. The guy cannot accelerate.
It really depends on what you want. I'm putting LeBron James into S tier right now. We'll eventually have to clean it out, move some guys around, but right now LeBron James is S tier. Next up, Luka Doncic. I'm not moving Luka up. I do not care. If you have success with Luka, awesome, great.
I'm not gonna argue. You either love him or you hate him.
RCA the Great can make how many videos on Luka Doncic?
He's the Marmite card of my team. I'm not gonna argue.
That's cool. I have yet to be cooked by Luka. Anytime I see Luka on the court, it's
he's literally Marmite. Like if you can get away, like he's either your favorite two guard in the game, you think he's the best, or you think he's the worst Galaxy up in the game. There's no in between. Like it all depends on what your opinion is of Luka, and whether or not you're good at getting your shot off with him. If you're good at getting your shot off with him, he's probably A tier. If you're not, he's the worst player on this list.
It's a Timmy that doesn't know how to play the game. Luka Doncic, D tier. Magic Johnson, for today's aim and today's era, I'm throwing into A tier.
He has, prior to the 4-point guys last week, he's got to be A.
It's tough. It's tough to play against a guy like Magic Johnson. Don't be surprised if Magic Johnson rejoins my team again very soon. I mean, he is that good.
Nah, no, none of these point guards are going to be on your team again very soon.
Marc Gasol, I mean, he one of the worst centers on this list. People once compared Marc Gasol to David Robinson. That was a sad discussion I had to have on Twitter. David Robinson definitely way better than Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol's not horrible, though.
Yeah, the problem was that at the time of that discussion, players literally could not catch the ball unless they had like an 80 rated steal. They hotfixed that into the game so that guys like D-Rob with like a 61 rated steal and goal interceptor were able to get steals. That was where, and then guys with higher steal ratings started tipping the ball. It used to be that if you had like an 80 plus rated steal, you would get these nut snags. And if you didn't have an 80 rate, if you had like a 60 rated steal, your players would just fumble the ball. Now it's a case where everyone fumbles the ball and catches the ball randomly. So yeah, like at the time, I still think at the time it was probably ridiculous. Like D-Rob was a lot better than Marc Gasol. But at the time, there were reasons why people were arguing Marc Gasol over D-Rob. But now, like the way the game has been with the multiple hotfixes, and there's been an entire patch. I think this is before the speed burst patch. Entire patch since then, there's been hotfixes. Again, nowadays you can't even argue it. And Maurice Lucas right now B because Josh Smith's in B.
Maurice Lucas, right to B tier. B tier is really good for the power forward position. Maurice Lucas is right up there. Problem is, I mean, he's not a great shooter, right? Lacks some badges. I think he only has 45 base badges, which compared to a guy, let's say like Yalen, might not be quite as good. Maurice Lucas, I had fun using him. I didn't get him on Ascension, so maybe that's why I'm biased. But I had fun using him on some other accounts. Michael Jordan, where's Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler C tier. Shooting guard position.
B.
Michael Jordan belongs in A tier.
A?
Here's your argument, okay? Here's your argument. Okay? Here's my argument. Not even your argument. Here's my argument. Tell me what Andre Iguodala does better than Michael Jordan.
You know what? I'll give you that. If Iguodala probably shouldn't be an A. If you're going to put Iggy in A, fair enough.
I mean, finishing wise are basically the same.
Because Jordan's better than Jaylen Brown. Jordan's way better than Dan Marley. So yeah, I don't know why I was so confused. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. With the way your list is, Jordan belongs in A.
You're basically the same. Michael Jordan has more total badges, has free throw line dunks. I'm saying he's at least A tier. You guys do not have to agree with that, and that is okay. I do not mind Michael Jordan. I think he's a really smooth release in my team.
A.
Yao Ming on current gen, I do not like it all. On next gen, I love him. I would go S tier if you're on next gen, but because of the current gen situation, I just can't. I cannot play with Yao on current gen. It's hard for me to say he's a more complete center than AD, Joel Embiid, and Kristaps. I love Yao Ming though, and when I say that on next gen, you could argue he's the absolute best. He's the most annoying dude to face on next gen. Gets literally every rebound. On current gen, I'm just not a big fan of him. Maybe I will become one, and maybe he'll get updated. But just goes to show how many good centers we have in my team. I mean, Yao Ming is up there. If I could have more than 10 people at S tier, I would. I think he belongs in S tier more than A tier. But I just think Kristaps, AD, those types of guys are better. Pascal Siakam, I do think is a little bit better than some of the guys we have at B tier. Put him at the A tier level power forwards.
Yeah.
I've been lately getting cooked by Pascal Siakam.
I agree. Pascal's A tier.
I gotta move Ja Morant and Jeremy Lin down. They belong at the B tier level point guards. I can't have them above D Wade and John Wall. I know we got a lot of point guards at B tier, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. Back to Pascal Siakam. Hall of Fame interceptor.
One point guard in A tier.
Very, very solid. Paul George, for this day and age, I've got to put in to B tier. I mean, he's
B?
to Carmelo Anthony. I'm taking Paul George over Billy Cunningham over.
He is similar to Carmelo Anthony, but Carmelo Anthony shouldn't be in C tier. Get both of those guys, or Carmelo Anthony shouldn't be B tier. Get both of those guys down in tier. You're comparing Paul George to Joe Johnson. You're comparing Paul George to Josh Smith, to Antoine. Actually, same positions. You're comparing him to Antoine Jameson. What are we doing?
For Bailey Howell, he has 60 total base badges.
I know, but some of them are silver.
But the Paul George is a card we are.
How many of them are silver?
And he will probably be a staple in my 250K team. Paul Pierce is D tier. You cannot tell me that.
He's worse. No. He's worse than Iverson.
And you guys can cry. I don't care. You grinded for Paul Pierce, which I'm low-key on the grind for. Sorry, he is not worth grinding for. Penny Hardaway, I'm going into A tier. Penny Hardaway, Magic Johnson, I do think is that same level. LaMelo Ball might be in more that level than S tier, but I do have to have 2 point guards. Look, LaMelo Ball would be here the moment we get a better point guard. So, the moment we get like Alonzo Ball.
The next day.
LaMelo Ball is just going to drop into that A tier. Reggie Lewis up next, and where does Reggie belong? He belongs in A tier.
Off rip,
I like Reggie Lewis.
The problem is that off rip, he is by far. Like, if you go into the auction house and you buy like some 37 Hall of Fame badge card, yeah, they're going to be better than Reggie Lewis. But off rip, unless you want to argue Kobe Bryant, Reggie's by far the best two-guard. So unless you want to argue Terry, Reggie's by far the best.
Don't love it. The way I feel about Klay Thompson is kind of the way I feel about Reggie Lewis. Like, I like him. I could use him. I just don't love it. I don't
He's so good.
as Kobe Bryant. And that's really the big kind of issue. Rudy,
A.
whatever A tier is. If you think Rudy is any lower than A tier, you're wrong. All I'm gonna say, you're just wrong. Rudy is still elite in my team. If he's your favorite small forward in the game, I'm not going to be the one to argue with you. I do think Rudy has that type of upside guy. I've personally loved
He's
playing with him.
Terry-esque.
In my team, especially on next gen. Current gen, he's still up there with being one of the best. Serge Ibaka for today's game, I think is B tier.
He's good as Bosh.
I like him more than Boogie Cousins, Brook Lopez, and Marcus. So I just don't think he is quite as good as a guy like DeAndre Ayton. Quite as good as a guy like David Robinson. B tier is a perfect spot for him. Steph Curry, I'm going to throw right into C tier. And Kyrie Irving. Not going to say they're the same cards. Defensively, basically going to give you the same thing, though. Fun to use on the offensive end of the court. Terry Cummins, man. This card is terrible. And I'm not even trying to sit here and say
he's not terrible. He's not good either.
36 is okay, but I mean, he doesn't do enough on the defensive end of the court. 40 base badges. Right in there with Anthony McDyess. I am not a Terry Cummings fan. Terry Dishinger, though, is a guy I'm a massive fan of. The dentist, probably my overall favorite shooting guard in the game. I think the most complete shooting guard in the game. And a guard that if you've never used Terry Dishinger, man,
he's got an 11 for S tier.
Out on an
B.
Incredible player. Tim Duncan, I still think to this day is B tier at the center. I mean, a guard that can compete on the interior, can guard the perimeter, Hall of Fame interceptor.
I agree.
Such a good defender. Just wish he had a little better.
I don't even disagree. Other than
Tim Duncan, though, is really solid. Guard that if we got a better Tim Duncan, might be in this S tier type of range, just because of his player build. Another F tier player.
He's so bad.
Might as well get it out of the way. Another F tier player.
They're both so bad.
Both of those cards are borderline unusable. Xavier McDaniel, a card who is not unusable, but a card who is B tier. I think Dan Issel is a little bit better than Xavier McDaniel, but I do think Xavier McDaniel does.
I think X1's better, but it's preference.
To still be that B tier caliber. Big Wang, last but not least, we're going A tier with Big Wang. Look, I get it, you guys might.
He's just Brook Lopez. What are we doing? He's just Brook Lopez. Like Brook Lopez, if anything, is one of the weaker players in C tier. How the hell is big? It's also Wang Zhizhi, not Wang Zhizhi, but like how is Zhizhi Wang in A tier? What are we doing? Like, I'm gonna pick like some of the most similar cards in the game. Some of the most similar pairings are John Wall versus Baron Davis. You've put 2 tiers between those two guys. Chris Paul, Allen Iverson. You've put 2 tiers between those two guys. And now Brook Lopez and Zhizhi Wang. You've put 2 tiers between those two guys. Other than that, I don't have any problems with the list. So those 3 things. Just those 3 things. Everything else is fine.
Like Wang, I do not like his defense offensively as far as a stretch big. Might be one of the best stretch bigs in my team. So this is the list, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right now, we've got 12 players.
Oh, 12.
So I've got to get rid of 2. And I mean, the point guard and shooting guard positions got to stay. Here's the deal. The first guy that's got to go is Andre Kirilenko. And I like AK. Wow. But he's not better than LeBron James.
Yes, he is.
I hate to do this, Jason Tatum. It's got to be you, man.
What the hell is...
And I like Jason Tatum. I just can't be any higher on the card. This is our list, man. We ranked over 70 cards in this list. Honestly, shouldn't be that long of a video.
Oh, I'm annoyed at both of those. AD down, Braun down, and I'm okay with the list. But yeah, other than that, honestly, I'm fine with everything else. Everything else either is 1 tier higher, 1 tier low, and 1 tier is 1 tier. But no, the fact that like 3 like unbelievably similar cards or 2 tier gaps between them is not, for me, is not a great sign. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. Go sub to Ty. Obviously, this video is just for entertainment. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.